Live for the Power Chat series for the Showdown in the Sunshine State post show with special guest Kristhian Rivas. Kristhian, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing okay. How about you? How are you?
I'm great. So glad that we could find a time for everybody watching. Kristhian just a minute ago finished teaching. So he's catching his breath as we start this show, but he's staying busy as well. So we have you on for the Showdown in the Sunshine State, hosted by Ray Bryant Jr. and Catherine Milner. So tell me about how you did at this tournament.
No, this tournament was great. I found out by Ray invited me to this tournament, and I was like, anytime that Ray invites me to something, I know that I have to go. So I went, and I thankfully I did pretty good. I'm still coming back after my injury, so thankfully I did pretty good. I was up there with my teammate Yasker,
Mm-hmm.
and we were able to clear up through the bracket, and at the end we found each other in the finals. So it was a pretty good event, pretty successful for us.
And you're coming off an injury. Why don't you tell everybody a little bit more about that and your road back onto the mat?
Yeah, I had a concussion back in Battle of Atlanta of last year. So, it's been, and I suffer from hereditary migraines. So with the concussion, it kind of like triggered the migraines. So it was like the concussion was fully healed. I'm fine, but the migraine's still there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just been hard, getting back into training with all these headaches and stuff. But, I've been to my doctors, and now, they put me on medication, and I'm finally, getting back on track finally.
Yeah, a concussion is a difficult injury to deal with because it's invisible and you don't know, like when a bone is set and it's no longer fractured or a muscle is no longer pulled. How did you know when it was time for you to come back and to start making contact with other people with a head injury?
Yo, so first, the my doctor told me, as soon as they first told me you have to go at least 2 weeks with no headaches, no dizziness,
Mhm.
no, your head has to be at least 2 weeks without bothering you. And that was hard because at the beginning, headaches will be every other day headaches. And I was like, okay, I'm supposed to go 2 weeks without a headache. And it was a long time before those 2 weeks happened. And then, after it happened, you're so excited. Yes, I'm finally getting back. Yeah, my 2 weeks are done. I can go back in. And then you have to kind of like, go back into it slowly. And then when you go back in, all the bouncing and you want to push yourself, you want to train, I've lost this much time. Me, I'm a competitor, I've lost this much time. People have been training. I got to get back to it. Pushing myself, headaches came back. So I'm like,
Mhm.
oh man. So yeah, my doctor just told me, hey, you got to ease back into it. You got to ease back into it. So it was just taking it easy, and now I'm building back up to where I used to be.
And then it was you represent Team Legend and so does Yasker. Uh at the end of the finals, did you face off with each other?
Yeah. Ray told us like, hey, it's not gonna be no playing around, right? So we had to fight each other, but we fight each other at the studio all the time. So we both know each other so much that it's always like a very low score fight, like one to
Mhm.
zero, 2-0. Thankfully, I was able to come up with the win, but it's always hard against Yasker, somebody that knows you so much.
Yeah. And sometimes he even coaches you. He's behind you. How do you deal with fighting sometimes your coach?
No, for me is I don't even look at it. If you ever catch a fight of him and
Mhm.
I don't even. I'm laughing most of the time. I'm just because we fight so many times here in the studio that for me it's just fun. I don't look at it like, hey, I'm trying to beat you. I like, for me it's just, if he wins, okay, whatever. You go ahead, finish the job. If I win, okay, I'll finish the job for you. If it's not. it's a different, it's totally a different mindset that I have fighting one of my teammates than, you know, one of my opponents that, you know, pressure is there, nerves are there. You know, I would really want to win a fight against an opponent, but against a teammate, you know, I'm just having fun, smiling. It's one of the few times that you will ever see me, you know, just having fun, smiling in an actual fight.
Yeah. So speaking of nerves, can you recall a time when you were most nervous on the mat?
The most nervous on a mat? Well, the first time that I fought Ross Levine, that was that was that was crazy for me because he's been one of my favorite fighters forever. And when I first was like, oh my God, I'm about to fight Ross. Like, what? I've been watching this guy forever, and I'm watching his videos. I know when he's about to blitz. I know when he's setting up a psychic. I know when he's about to do this. So it was nerves, you know. But you know, once that was the most nervous I've ever been. But once you get into the ring, it's all about, you know, fighting spirit. You know, I'm here to fight. It's either him or me. So all that.
So from film to fighting, how did that first time fighting Ross go?
It's a total different ballgame. You know, most of us say, oh yeah, I can see when he's about to. You cannot see. Oh, you think you're setting him up. You think he's setting him up, but in reality, he's setting you up, and then you get caught with a psych.
So there's levels to it. Have you since fought Ross and you see? Have you since fought Ross?
I fought him twice. I fought him once in teams, and then I fought him. I fought him once in teams, and then I fought him in open weight at Pan Am's 2018. The first time that we fought, it was an even match, and then the second time that we fought, that fight had to be stopped because he had a cut in his eyebrow.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, this is your second time at the Showdown in the Sunshine State. What brought you back, and how was this year maybe different from your last time?
The last time that I was there, Yosker was there also, but the way the bracket was set up, I had to meet Yosker in semis. So what we did, what I like to do with Yosker or with any of my teammates, if it's not the finals, I'm not gonna fight you. You know, if it's the finals, we'll fight. But if it's just a semis, we'll just toss it up, or we'll ask Mr. Tony to see if he has a strategy, or like, oh, this guy's gonna go through, or you're gonna go through today. You know, he will decide. Okay, tonight, this matchup serves better for Chris. This matchup serves better for Yosker. So
interesting. So now in tournaments where the prize money, say, is a lot more and the stakes are much higher, do you see the same process happening?
It will depend. If, you know, we will talk about it before we go to the tournament. If there is a possibility of us meeting, you know, for example, this happened one time with me and Coca. He's another of my teammates. If the bracket happened how it was supposed to happen, him and I were gonna meet right before the finals. So before we talked to Mr. Tony, before we said anything, we talked, him and I, like, hey, what do you want to do? And he was like, hey, let's just fight. You know, let's just fight. So it will be like that. I think it will be a decision between, you know, the fighter and I, and then if we can't decide, we'll just leave it to Mr. Tony or toss it up. But, you know, my thing is always, if the price is, you know, stakes are high, you know, we can't just leave it up to luck.
Yeah. It sounds like there's a lot of mutual respect between you and your teammates. Can you talk a little bit more about your team dynamic on Team Legend?
Oh no, this is definitely. I don't want to be cliche and come in here. Oh, it's a family and this, but it really, I've known Yasker since I was 4, and I'm 23 now, and I known Coca since I was like 19.
Mm-hmm.
So, and most of the Jose, I've known him since I was like 7, and my brother I've known all my life. So most of the people that are on the team I've mostly known all my life. So, and I've always looked up to them. So for me to be finally at the level, like, to be head to head with them is just an honor and a privilege for me to be like, because before, when I was little, I used to look up to these guys. I was like, oh my god, one day I want to be on Team Legend, one day I want to be team fighting with Yasko, I want to be team fighting with these guys. And to be head to head with these guys is just, it's, I can't take that for granted. I can't just, be like, yeah, I'm this, I'm that. No, I just, so the respect comes first for me.
Mm-hmm.
Always. That's not just for my teammates. It's anywhere in my life. Is just always, respect before anything, and towards anybody, and then everything else comes along. So I, with my teammates and everybody, we just, it's a special chemistry that we have. And
Mm-hmm.
and like I said, I don't want to be cliche and say, hey, we're a family and we're this, but we are very close. Sometimes we go to, like, on Sundays we go to each other's house and just have a barbecue, or we'll spend a beach day or pool party. It doesn't just stop at the dojo.
Mm-hmm. Now, this might be a tricky question, but there are some people out there who call themselves lifers for their team. Would you call yourself one of those for Team Legend, or if an opportunity presented itself with another team, would you consider it?
I don't want to say that I'm a lifer, but I also don't want to say, hey, I'm gonna go whoever throws me the best offer. I don't want to say that, you know. So the thing is, as long as my relationship with the big boss, I like to call Mr. Tony, my relationship with Mr. Tony is what it is now.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of like my second dad. I've known him since I was like 3. I will be on Team Legend, because he's my second dad. But life changes, people changes. Maybe one day I will change my mind, or maybe one day he will change his mind. But Mr. Tony is my second dad, and he's my instructor, and he's my master, and he's also my boss as well. So I don't see any of that changing anytime soon.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Well, now that you're back on the mat, you were successful at this tournament. Where to next? Battle of
So
Atlanta?
yeah, I'm planning on going to the battle if my health is right, if I have no headaches, if I have, if my health is right. I spoke to my neurologist this week, and they put me on the right medication. If everything is as it is now, you know, Battle of Atlanta, we're going.
All right. Well, that's great news. Kristhian, thank you so much for coming on the Power Chat series with me to talk a little bit more. We actually had a topic before I finished the show. We had a topic for everybody watching that we wanted to touch on. It's that many people don't know that Kristhian has done so many different sports. So, do you want to list some of them off, and we can just do a quick chat about
Yeah.
doing all that?
So anytime I talk to people, I like to tell them that that like karate is like my third it's like my third love. Like, because you know my first love will always be my mom. And then my second love is basketball, and then my third love is karate. What do I say it like this? Because karate just comes like so easy and so natural for me,
Mm-hmm.
that whenever a situation comes up to my, you know in my life, for example, um I need to clear my mind. A situation came up and I need to clear my mind. if I go and do karate to clear my mind, I can still, while doing karate, I can still think of other things. It's so natural for me. But while playing basketball, I just got to be, playing defense, playing basketball. What do I have to do? Doing all these things. So basketball is like I'm more passionate about, and I like to watch it more. I like to study it. I watch all these things. But yeah, that's why I say basketball is my second love, and then karate. And then, but I also play tennis. I also play baseball in high school. I like to watch all these sports. I'm huge on athletics, and I watch all these sports. Just as long as it's competitive, I just love watching it and doing it.
So then, if you love to watch basketball, then who do you have winning the championships?
Man. Well, my picks from the beginning, they're all out.
Well, given your options now, my last and final question is your prediction.
Dang. Okay. Tony Jr. is gonna kill me.
Oh no.
Because Tony Jr. he goes for the Golden State Warriors.
Mm.
But I just want Boston to win. I just want Jason Tatum to win.
Well, since I'm a Duke grad and Jason Tatum comes from Duke, we'll have to agree with you.
Yeah, I just want them to win because they've been playing such good defense, and they knocked off the Nets. They knocked off Milwaukee. They had the hardest bracket. They just deserve it. I don't know. They just got to do it. Yeah. I just want to win.
They're with you. So thank you again. Now that we got to touch on the many sports and your number one passion, we can bring this podcast to a close. All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching the Power Chat series with Kristhian. And Kristhian, thank you for coming on.
Thank you.